Ever spend months studying a topic, doing all the reading and taking all the notes, only to freeze up when you actually have to perform that skill in the real world? We are going to examine 4 core concepts to break the cycle: the problem of transfer, directness, the project-first method, and finally, the direct-then-drill loop. Most of us are conditioned to learn in a traditional environment. It is abstract and safe. We read textbooks, watch lectures, and take multiple-choice quizzes to simulate competence. This diagram illustrates a psychological hurdle called the problem of transfer. You build up a solid block of theoretical knowledge in a sterile zone, but when you try to push it across the boundary into chaotic, real-world application, the knowledge simply evaporates. This happens because real-world tasks contain thousands of unpredictable microdetails. A textbook gives you idealized scenarios, deliberately stripping away the friction, context, and nuance of reality. Learning indirectly creates a massive database of theoretical facts, but it completely fails to forge usable, reliable skill. To bypass the problem of transfer, you must change the environment where learning takes place. This split-screen diagram demonstrates the core concept of directness. Instead of the linear, disconnected pathway on the left, directness relies on the overlapping loops on the right. You tie the learning process exactly to the physical or digital context where you will eventually use the skill. On the left side, clicking and dragging words in a language app isolates information in a closed box. On the right side, directly speaking to a native speaker builds a practical bridge. You see the exact same difference between reading a textbook on game design theory versus opening a game engine and writing the code yourself. Applying directness introduces immediate psychological friction. It feels uncomfortable because you are skipping the safe, passive stage. But by practicing in the target environment from day one, you build instant ability. You eliminate the brain's need to translate or transfer the knowledge later on. The most effective forcing function to guarantee you stay direct is project-based learning. As this diagram shows, the traditional timeline assumes you should study, and study some more, hoping to eventually produce something. That model often collapses before a project even begins. The active timeline flips this entirely. You decide to produce something on day one. The project becomes the center of gravity. Organizing your learning around a final product dictates exactly what you need to know. It pulls in specific tools and theory only when they are required, cutting out the wasted time spent on unused background information. Take a moment right now. Think of the skill you want to master and explicitly define the final, real-world project you want to create with it. Cut out all the intermediate study steps. A tangible project acts as a ruthless filter. It forces you to acquire only the most useful, practical aspects of the skill. Starting with a project immediately guarantees that you will hit a wall quickly. This early failure is a feature of the system, not a bug. This schematic represents your main project, and it introduces our final framework, the direct-then-drill loop. Step 1 is to practice directly by building your project until the system halts. You push forward until you identify the specific bottleneck holding you back. Step 2 requires you to step completely away from the project. You isolate that specific weak point and put it through a hyper-focused drill, practicing only that single component until you master it. Step 3 is immediate integration. You plot the newly mastered component back into the main project, allowing your entire system to resume running at a higher level of efficiency. By recognizing the transfer problem, committing to directness, applying a project-first approach, and utilizing the direct-then-drill loop, you align your practice with how the brain actually acquires skill. You don't learn theory to eventually build a project. You build a project to force yourself to learn the theory. These principles form the core of the Ultra Learning methodology, providing a definitive roadmap for mastering hard skill.